Okay, we're continuing the intro today, the Alter Rebbe's Tanya, the intro that you could spend weeks and weeks on. We're doing it in a few days. And hopefully, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to the right place and getting what we received. I just want to do a quick recap of what we've already learned so far, the Hakdama of the Tanya. The Hakdama of the Alter Rebbe's Tanya is basically divided into two main things, two main parts. The first part is him explaining to you the problem with giving over Musar or touching people's hearts through texts. That's what we've been discussing. Ours, because a person can hear something that's not really there. And another problem is that ein kol hadeot shavot, that people hear different things, and how could you say that this thing is meant for everyone, right? Especially for a basar adam to do this. And we saw an example of Yehoshua. Yehoshua, Isha Sheruach Bo. Moshe Rabbeinu chooses him dafka because Yehoshua had this ability lahaloch keneged rucho shel kol echad ve'echad. I think I spoke about this at Azi's bar mitzvah. I think his bar mitzvah was Pinchas, right? Mm-hmm. And in Pinchas, Yehoshua is appointed, or it's spoken about Yehoshua in the terms of Isha Sheruach Bo. So that was the first part of how the Alter Rebbe has been explaining to us the problem with giving over something that ein kol hadeot shavot, and it's very, very difficult for everything. So the last line we learned, Harei ein kol adam zocheh liot makir mekomo haprati shebatorah, which means that not every person merits to find his nekuda that's shayach just for him in the Torah. Do you see that last line? Mm-hmm. And over here in the parish that we have, דרך אגב, חזי, אנחנו הולכים ללמוד מהמהדורה הזאת, ראית את זה? Effie also, if you can get it, this is how we're going to be learning with it. So this last piece over here, what he said over here, is that, המצאת הזה בפנים? תתן לי את זה מה, איתך בהקדמה. Is that even though there are הוראות מפורטות for every single person in this sefer, or in any sefer, there could be הוראות מפורטות, it's still, איפשהו פה, it's still not exactly shayach, exactly to who needs to get what. So here now we go, he's going to prove this even further, that there's so many different chilukim, there's so many different chilukim in the Torah that even when it comes to halacha. V'hineh af behilchot isur veheter haniglot lanu ulevanenu, meaning up until now we said people's souls hear different things. People's neshamas connect in different ways. So that he said mitzad the nistar, mitzad the more esoteric world, mitzad the world of mysticism. Now he's saying even more. V'hinei af behilchot isur v'heter haniglot lanu ulevanenu. That means that the halacha is right in front of us. It's not so hidden. It's right in front of us. Matzanu ra'inu machloket tanaim va'amoraim min hakatze el hakatze mamash. Meaning, regarding Hilchot Isur V'Heter, that has to do with kashrus, we see even over there things that should be kivyachol very much clear. Torah says this, but you see how people can have completely opposing opinions, even when it comes to Hilchot Isur V'Heter. Ve'elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chayim l'shon rabim. And then when we come, how do we resolve this concept that there could be? Oh, Eli, you got it. Yofi, Daf Lamed. Well, actually, in the Hakdama, wherever you have the Hakdama, I'm just doing it with the Perush. Elu va'elu divrei Elokim chayim, the Alter Rebbe says. And the diuk here is that usually, what are we saying when we say Elu va'elu divrei Elokim chayim? What are we expressing at that moment?
That there are alternative ways to see the situation.
I'm sorry?
There are alternative ways to see something. Both of them are true.
He's proving that, dafka from the lashon of chayim, Elokim chayim. Not kel chai, Elokim chayim. He's saying that basically there are many different opinions, and this is all part of drawing from the oneness. The Perush here says like this: every single day that's brought down in the Torah is part of Torah's emes. It's Dvar Hashem. Like Chazal say, halalu mitamin, halalu mitaharin, halalu osrin, halalu matirin. Kulan nitnu miro'eh echad. All the different opinions, that the way they derived, wherever they got to, it was all given from one shepherd. Kel echad netanan. One God gave it to us. Parnas echad amran. Mipi adon kol ha'maasim baruch hu. Meaning it's all a lie. It's all coming from above. But the question that we have is, why did Chazal say Divrei Elokim Chaim, like Lashon Rabim, and it didn't say Kel Echad? That would have, or Kel Chai, but a singular versus plural. Good question. So Dafka, he says, Al Shem Mekor HaChaim Lenishmot Yisrael, meaning in this expression, what's expressed is the root of all the different Chilukei Deos that is in Am Yisrael. I never thought about that. Divrei Elokim Chaim means, yes, it's from one source, but even in that one source, there are many different opinions. There are many different ways of looking. Can you imagine that if we actually lived like that, when we had someone opposing us in a, halachically, when someone, it's amazing that we've developed our like or not liking system based on, like regarding people, based on where they hold in the Torah. But that's the destruction of the world, that we like or don't like people based on their achiza, their grasping of their neshama, their part of the neshama in the Torah.
It's beautiful, but it's also can be dangerous.
It's awful.
No, the statement even, because somebody who's not connected in the right way can take this and totally corrupt.
No, but I'm saying something else. I'm saying that even when people that is using it in Bemet, but it's not trying to tamper. It's just they're receiving, missed you. The receiving of the Torah comes in a way that is just from the other side of the spectrum, and that's just what's so heartbreaking, is that has decided that we've based our liking on people based on how they've been true to their Shoresh Neshama. And the best example of how wrong we are is Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. As we know, that could there have been any greater division of two different groups of understanding the word of Hashem, and yet what do we know about Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel's personal interactions with each other? Shidduchim. Their children married each other. It just shows how far we are from really relating to this concept of we're coming from two different places, and guess what, guys? That's all right. That's good.
It seems to me like if it was singular, if it said Elu Ve'elu, but then Var El Chai,
right,
then you'd say, okay, it seems like they're different, but really they're coming to the same point. But Elu Ve'elu Divrei Elohim Chaim is saying, no, they're really different opinions.
Right.
Down to the
they
depth.
really are
They're
different.
both right, nonetheless.
Nachon. So he's saying in Nishmot Yisrael there are since their makor is all in Elokim Chaim, all of our souls of Am Yisrael, the source is in this concept Elokim Chaim. So there's all different madrigot, there's all different levels. And we have to remember that they're all inside, they're all different places. So he says like this, again, Al Shem Mekor HaChaim Lenishmot Yisrael HaNechlakot Derech Klal L'Shlosha Kavim. Now it gets funky. And this is very important because this is going to really explain a lot for us later on. Meaning the Mekor of the life of Nishmot Yisrael divides usually to three different directions. Three different kavim. Yamin, Smol, Ve'emtza. Chesed, Gvura, and Emtza would be the week we just started right now. Tiferet. Meaning that the Makor of the Neshama, of our Neshamas, the Neshamas themselves have a Netiyah. Netiyah means a inclination or a tendency to, what'd you say?
It's a predilection.
Thank you. Two lawyers, and this is great. And I'm teaching Tanya in English. Whatever. There are neshamas, it's just that they're not like trying to be harsh, it's just that Gvura, Mamash, is their makor of their life, of their neshama. This is a very basic concept in Kabbalah, what he's saying over here. Basic concept, that there are people, they're not trying to be full of love. It's not that they're such tzaddikim, they're full of love. They're actually very naturally, that's the makor of their neshama. I keep on mentioning his name because he's just keeping up a lot of context. Meir Banai once said that it's not that he tries, it's not that he hates going on the street and people recognizing and meeting him, and that he hates it because he's so anav. He says, it's just not my shoresh neshama, meaning it's just not my thing. I can't stand that part of the deal. Now that's the highest anava, that can actually be your teva is an amazing thing.
And to say it's not about the
and to say it's not about, it's an amazing concept. What humility should be? It's like such a brilliant thing. But here he's saying every one of the neshamas of Am Yisrael is nimshach from one of these three midas, and now therefore the neshamas divide to different parts.
Is it that you're predisposed to one of these three things, or that each person's neshama has these three attributes in them?
No. Well, generally speaking, of course, that's what we're doing during the midas, chesed, shebat, tiferet, but no, it means that generally speaking, that one kav, that one line,
these you're going to be pulled to much stronger.
נכון. ונשמות ששורשן ממידת החסד, הנהגתן גם כן להטות כלפי החסד, להקל כנודע. And we know that, the neshamas that are more, neshamas that are more inclined, that their shorish of the neshama is more from the midah of chesed. So the way that they manhig themselves is also to be matek klepei the tzad of chesed. By the way, in Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, how does it work? What did you say, Effie? Effie, what did you say?
I was probably with this Beis Hillel's chesed.
Right. Is Gvura. Now, it's interesting that we say la'atid lavo, we're going to be holding like Beis Shammai, which is so weird because shouldn't it be like la'atid lavo, everything will be chesed, and everything, but our perception maybe of that Gvura will change as well. Could be. Yeah.
I think in Beis Shammai has a messianic time. It has a
right.
different way of looking at the world, and Hillel has a much more here and now way of looking at the world. So we call this chesed and gvura, but it's not quite right.
It's like Shem, like the Alter Rebbe says later in Tanya. These are just shemot hamushalim. They're just borrowed names for us to understand the times we're living in. But in its essence, that's not exactly what it really means. We kind of saw this in Shar Yichud Emunah, where we completely redefined the concepts of chesed and gvura. Right? Is tzimtzum chesed or gvura? Is it gvura? So you think it is, right? But without tzimtzum, there wouldn't be a kiyum. We wouldn't be able to be in this world. So is that chesed or gvura? So that's a chesed. The chesed is the gvura is the chesed. We totally rearranged that whole concept. You're right. So he says, this what he was doing now is explaining how even al pi nigla, not even nister, al pi nigla, even halachically, it's not just in our souls we're different, but it draws out into like it plays out even in lamaisa halacha, where you see that there could be two very holy neshamas. They're coming from two completely different ways. I always am more sensitive to it this week because you have like geonim like Reb Chaim Drukman, Holocaust survivor, Mamesh a Bonei Yisrael. אתה מכיר את הרב חיים דרוקמן? ממש בוני ישראל. בוני ישראל, guy built Am Yisrael, built Eretz Yisrael. You ever meet Reb Chaim Drukman? You should go see him. You should very much go see him. I've seen him many times, the privilege of seeing him many times. And his way of understanding what's happening now, he'll write, and I'm learning a sefer of his right now, where he's explaining how the hishtalshalut of the Eruim, that what's happened with Am Yisrael and the way that it is now, it shows clearly that this is Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, what's going on now, right? Then you have, I don't even have to begin to quote all the different other schools of thought that we usually actually learn from. This is what's been inspiring us more, that say that you can't refer to this, it's a gewalt thing, but you don't refer to this as Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, right? Now what's so sick is that there's so much sinas chinam because people, each side says, you're not really connecting to your shoresh, because in your shoresh, there's no way in the world you would come to such a conclusion. Sorry. Differen is not something that you and I decided should be a nice, en ma lasot. Meaning, we're not trying to determine who's right. You can do that individually. What we hopefully are working on, just reading this little piece, is that my opinions about someone should never, ever, ever, when it comes into this kind of machlokets, should never, about liking them or not, it had nothing to do about what they think, theoretically, about certain inyanim. Now, I'm not going to tell you right now that, people that go and throw stuff at chayalim, you should never think anything bad about them because they have a different opinion. They don't have a different opinion. They have sinna. That's something else. V'chein the other side as well. Don't go and say like people that go and, call the Haredim all these other names. They just have a difference of opinion. No, they're acting upon hatred towards people that believe in their Masoret. And it goes back and forth. But what he's saying here is that there's three kavim. There's Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferet. There's in the Shoresh of our Neshamas. That was true regarding Halacha. Now he goes back inside and he's saying, also with the Midos, V'chol sheken kal v'chomer. All the more so. Now, V'chol sheken v'kal v'chomer. Remember I told you last week is that the Alter Rebbe, you could learn out huge Vortlach about every phrase that he used. V'chol sheken v'kal v'chomer. That's a heavy, heavy language. All the more so, and kal v'chomer. How do you say kal v'chomer in English?
For Shiori.
I'm going to stop asking questions.
The two of you are really like tapped into the same
It's the same shoresh. You see this there?
Best compliment
This is the
you've given me for a long time.
Alavai Aleinu, Bezrat Hashem, such a shoresh. V'chol sheken v'kal v'chomer b'anistoros l'Hashem Elokeinu. De'inun dechilu urechimu b'mocha v'liba. V'kol chad v'chad lefum shi'ur adile lefuma de'mishar libe. What's dechilu urechimu? Ahava and yira, love and awe. In the moach and in the heart. Every person, kol chad v'chad lefum shi'ur adile, in accordance to his own shi'ur of his heart, in accordance to the way that his heart feels and experiences things. Lefuma de'mishar libe. Every single person's yecholet is also different as well. K'mo shekosav Zohar HaKadosh ala pasuk noda b'sharim ba'ala. It's a beautiful, beautiful teaching from the Zohar HaKadosh. Noda b'sharim ba'ala. What's ba'ala? It's a reference to Hashem. He's the Baal of the Shechina, ba'ala. Noda b'sharim, he's known through the sharim. What does that mean? That Hashem is known through the sharim. He's saying the Fumad Mishar Libe is the play on the words here from the Zohar HaKadosh. In accordance to the gates of your heart, but the sheer of how much Hashem is expressed and felt in your heart, Noda Basharim Ba'ala. What's the point of what he's trying to say over here? Is that basically he has a sikum over here on the next page. I'm just going to read it very fast. Due to three different reasons, Hasidim hold that it's very hard to extract from Sfarim Eitzot v'hadrachot pratiyot, meaning individual instructions regarding avodat Hashem for each and every single individual. We went through them. We'll go through them right now. One is that matzavo aruchani shel adam mebulbal. A person's spiritual place, he can be confused, and it doesn't allow him to see the light that's in the Sfarim. The second thing is that Sfarim are built al pi sechel enoshi. And people aren't capable of lehachil, of containing the eitzas and the guidance to all bnei Adam. Why? Because people's opinions aren't the same. 3 is that the Sif, the Hayira, are based on Midrashei Chazal, which are part of the Torah, which is shayach to every single individual nefesh. The problem is that not every person merits to find that place that is shayach just to him in the Torah. So because of all these reasons, the Alter Rebbe is beginning his whole Akdama saying generally why I'm very reluctant for writing a sefer like this. Because if the point of a sefer like this is what? Is absolute guidance. This is what it is. The Tanya is, and he's going to say, you understand why he has this whole Akdama. The point over here is mamash, to give guidance to the individual. When Hasidim learn Tanya, they feel right now the Alter Rebbe is speaking right to me. This is mamash just for me. So first he starts off saying how it's impossible, basically. How he's bringing it down, why it's impossible. And he's not doing this out of anava. He really has a mahalach here that he's going to. But now we go into the part of the Tanya that everyone knows much, much better. And that is really the yechidus with the Alter Rebbe. Like we said before, a chassid, when he learns Tanya, when he sits down and learns Tanya, he puts on a gaitel. It's not like stam, I knocked this off another sefer. Is that right now the Alter Rebbe knew my shoresh neshama. He knows my shoresh neshama. If I ended up by the Alter Rebbe's Tanya, and I'm learning it, it means that I have some kind of draw to the same shoresh. Not exactly the same line, but part of the shoresh of my neshama is noteh, what did we say before, Natia? Inclined to inclined to go and say, there's something here that I have. There are people that have started a Tanya about 10 times until they found the way. They have a draw, but they can't specify they can't explain what that is that's drawing them to there. But they still keep on coming back because they know there's something there that they need. And until you find a channel through which you can hear the Alter Rebbe talking to you, it's going to be very, very difficult. Yeah, Ali.
So if we're going to tie this into Piazetzin, right? So the third problem is that people don't know where they're holding. They don't know where they're standing. But if you can get somehow exercises to get in touch with your soul, then you can soften one of the problems.
Right, so he's going to do that though, meaning like, you're right, even though the Piasesner has his techniques that he's saying, okay, Gilui HaNefesh is going to, the point is that you have a Gitgalut HaNefesh. The Alter Rebbe is filled with eitzos how to really, mamash, the same exact nekuda, how to have a Gilui of your Nefesh, to know where you are. That's why in the intro of the intro of the intro, we just did the intro of the intro and the intro. But there's an intro of the intro of the intro on this Sefer, which we didn't do, which Rav Weinberg has some fantastic shiurim on this, is that's what they say over here. Quite often, people that are in spiritual searches, when they come to the Tanya, they get embarrassed because they realize that where they thought they were is mamash not where they are. Not that they're being humbled, but the way the picture the Alter Rebbe draws of the nefesh ba'amit and the nefesh elokit, mamash, the illustration of the Alter Rebbe, the way he explains to you how the olamot are built, as well as how your neshama, where it comes from, and where you are right now, you realize where I thought I was completely not that, and therefore you need to tap into a word which is very hard for most people, and that word is bittul. Meaning you have to mitbatel to a reality that I just explained to you, the Alter Rebbe is saying, and this is really describing where you are, and without that, if you're going to come to the Tanya to keep on checking out what is he saying, but you don't start to play a role in what he's saying, you're not going to go through the Tanya. You're not going to get through it. You'll probably drop it another 50 times. But once you find yourself in the chalukah that he did, then you have much more of a chance of saying, oh, I'm here, I'm embarrassed because I thought I was somewhere and I'm completely not there. Who here has started Tanya before and never went through it? Yeah?
A little bit of the shayk.
אתה למדת פעם טניה? קצת פה ושם, נגיעות. כן. לא, אני גם כן, הרבה פעמים. Till I found, ממש, I'm just sharing with you, till I don't know what it was, but at a certain point, you hear Yer Shoresh Neshama in the words of the Tanya, and then you get to it. I think we could say this here, because there's no one here but us, and there's a few hundred people that are learning this, right? So, I think that sometimes people have a taste, they have a certain experience with Chabad, maybe that wasn't good for them, right? Or whatever it is, something about it, right? So therefore, that kind of dictated to them how they're going to understand the limud of the Tanya, which is so sad. Because it's so much bigger than one person's interpretation and explanation, right? But that can mamash, like, not, מה זה? אין לך את הספר הזה בכלל. בעולם. So I think that's really what for many people that I've come across over the years is that when they say no that thing doesn't talk to me, it means that someone that Kivyachol represents that Mahalach wasn't Yershtem, but really the Alter Rebbe is much greater than any individual that's trying to give over his.
It might not even just be an individual; it might just be associations with the whole, like what the movement looks like today, or
Nachon, correct.
It's more complicated. That's just not you meant one.
Correct. I agree with you. I didn't want to go fully there, but you're definitely right. You're definitely right. And hopefully here, like our connection with Alter Rebbe, what we're trying to do here is that it's something so personal. It's your lashon, meaning when you hear the Alter Rebbe, don't try to hear it in different people's voices. It's just you have to hear it in your voice. Now basically that's the point of this Hakdama. Because the point of this Hakdama, now, and we're going to start the next piece tomorrow, the point of this Hakdama is basically saying, despite all the reasons why I told you why it's not good to write a sefer like this, I still chose to do it. Why? So the next words, we'll just look at the first three words over here. Ach beyodai umakirai kamina. But who am I talking to? I'm talking to the person that's still reading these words. Meaning, I'm speaking to those who hear a calling to anything that's, whatever it is that's going to be in this sefer. I can't explain it to you right now, but if you're still here, meaning if you went through this Akdama, and you're still here, and despite any experience you've had or haven't had with Lubavitch, whatever it is, and you're still here and learning this, this is who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to someone that needs to be convinced about anything. I'm talking to someone who feels a Mashiach, who feels a calling, and then we'll see later on specifically what type of person that is. But it was very intimidating to start learning the Tanya. I was talking about it with Dov right before Pesach or where it's very intimidating because this really is a very, very, very big language, and it's not the language that we're used to with the other Sfarim that we're learning. We already saw that with Sha'ar Yichud Ve'emunah. And I think part of me was very reluctant to start the Tanya from the beginning because it really is so systematic, and therefore, why not go with this perush of the systematic system, right? Meaning, like, you should then just say, okay, I'm going to go with the way that it's been brought out in that world. But I think that with a strong enough chevra and a chabura, we could take from that whole world, but we need to make the Tanya in our voice. We need to make the Tanya in our voice, and then that will enable us more, I think, lehit batel, to the bigger voice that's over here, that's describing our world over here. And I also think like this, since we said that through learning the Tanya, the spiritual seeker can find himself then pretty embarrassed and shocked as to see how far he is from where he thought he was. With a group of chevra, that's fine. With a group of chevra that really trust each other and that learn together and that grow together, and that not that they're busy here calling each other out, that's not the point over here, but there's enough love and safety in the room, then even if we do have those moments of saying, oh my God, I thought I was tzaddik viralo. You'll see what I mean later on, right? Really, I'm maybe on a very, very good day, a Rasha v'tovlo, right? And then you're sitting there smirking, you're saying, on a very good day, you're a Rasha v'ralo. You even fall into the category of something, right? But we're going to see where it is. We're going to see together what it is. We'll continue to grow. And tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to start talking about why he, Bechol Zot, the Alter Rebbe chose to write this Sefer. And I know it's taking a little bit, more time to just jump into the beginning, but mamash, I feel like this is a very good pace, and we'll continue tomorrow. And I pushed the women's shiur off today till 10, so that we can learn probably from 9:20 to 10 instead of from 9 to 9:25 because of Musaf. Okay, shukran.